This video is sponsored by the Grim Hollow Player's Guide. They've only got 4 days left, which means if you want any cool stuff that they got, it's actually you who has 4 days left to live. Nah, that's probably not true, but Grim Hollow is really cool and you should check out what they got. If you like more player options, they have 24 subclasses made by myself and other creators. And do you like player transformations like the ones they had in the campaign guide? Boom! Elementals, Fae, and Spectres. Use everything and be like a fairy fire ghost, like Zelda's dad. And if you haven't already, watch the cinematic before it vanishes. It's really good.
Fight for the ones we love.
I'm coming, Annabelle.
Okay, thanks for supporting the book and then enduring my onslaught of ads. Here's an angry video. I have the answer to the title of this video. It's because you overthink it, and you use too many rules. Okay, that's it. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. Shirts are available out front. Really though, it's true. It's an Occam's razor. I'll openly admit that in 10 out of every 11 games I play, it feels like it goes on way too long, even though nothing ever happens. So I'm gonna break down the slowest parts of a D&D session and then try to provide solutions for them. First things first, the opening. Every DM starts their session by explaining the surroundings, what's happened so far, and where the players currently are. And then they don't make anything happen. Instantly, the players are launched into an open ocean without any means of moving in any direction. Suddenly we all have to figure out a plan, even though we probably had one when we left off and just forgot. But every party member's differences shine here, in a bad way, when they start disagreeing on what to do for the next hour and a half. And that's not really their fault, because they sat down to roleplay, so they're gonna slam down the gas pedal on their character's personality, except their only outlet right now is the other players. Dungeon Masters, please have a direction planned at the start of the session, and let your players know immediately what it is. Don't have them figure it out. This isn't a mystery and you're not making it interesting by being quiet. The beginning of the session is the tutorial. The least you can do is let them know that they can press A to jump. Now that the session is off to an actual start, the fun part happens. Everyone gets to interact with the world, the story, and each other in meaningful ways that isn't just bickering. And eventually, because this is D&D, that leads to combat. And no matter how well planned combat was, the game still comes to a massive halt when everyone rolls initiative. Sure, it's iconic, but only because of how often it happens. I personally really don't like the initiative structure, and turn-based combat is naturally much slower than the actual fight. D&D combat feels like XCOM if you give everyone one character and then the Dungeon Master controls 8 other characters but doesn't use any strategy. I don't have a great solution for this, because it's a core mechanic, but let me speed it up a tad. First, stop using initiative rolls. You're married to them now, but they're abusive and they're lazy. Put the ring down, walk out the door, and try to experience new relationships. Broaden your horizons, try other systems, put the D4 up your butt. Or take the initiative modifier and add 10 to it, for everybody. That way, right when combat starts, the fastest guys go the fastest. That makes sense. It feels better, but it is less random. But it's faster, so it's better. If people have the same score, let them decide at the start of combat who goes first. But still, during combat, you can have too many players and too many enemies. What you want to do is essentially cut as much fat from combat as you can, and don't keep secrets that you don't need to. Let players know armor classes, use average damage rolls, make similar enemies all act at the same time, and a very big one, let players combine their turns. Completely remove the help action, and instead have people coordinate their stuff for Avengers-style combo moves. It's also really good because while other people are taking their turns, the players who are bored can still talk about what they're gonna do next, together. I'm really just saying stop using dice where you don't need to. There's a point where the excitement of randomness gets replaced with the monotony of actually rolling, and then thinking of an outcome. And lastly, sometimes players debating a course of action goes on for too long, and it's nobody's fault. This is where you steal from the best game, City of Mist, and use event timers. Even if there isn't any immediate danger, becoming bored of the game creeps up on your players like COVID did on humanity's serotonin levels. But you can always add more tension. If you're the DM, waiting for the players to figure out how to cross a pit, and they're all mad at each other, bring out the hourglass. And then bring out the rat swarm. And whenever someone actually tries to cross the pit, just let them do it. Don't prove the rules lawyer right by having the 10-foot pole snap. Just move the game forward. Fuck the rules.